What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Madden 20 rebuild. We have another offseason in store today after the Buccaneers 12-4 season that saw us win our last 4 games going into the postseason, or including the postseason, and having a season end a bit before we expected. Of course, part of that is because I played Ronnie Wynn here in the playoff game accidentally. Played him in week 17 because we had nothing to play for, and forgot to swap him out for Tyrus Sparks. Now, I said at the end of the episode, I'm not sure if Sparks playing would have made a difference, and it's not so simple that, a 20 overall player is obviously going to have a better game, because he didn't 2 weeks earlier against the Saints when we scored 7 points. So I don't know. There's a lot of variance, and you have to account for that. We'd have a better chance of winning if Sparks played. But Wynn matched what Wallner did and did not have a bad game by any stretch. So I kind of felt like we were probably going to lose at some point in the playoffs regardless, just because for some reason the last 4 games, or the last 3 games here, saw us barely play up to our standard we set earlier in the season. But I'll make sure Sparks plays any playoff games that he is healthy for, and we'll get back to it here in just an episode. We have an off season today, and then we'll see what's in store for this team. Now, I've been thinking about what we can do as far as the salary situation goes, and I know we had Joe Coakley retire, so that opens up space. But that space is kind of already taken up by Leonard Lester's 5th-year option. So it's kind of already a wash there. We have to see if we can do much with our remaining cap space. By the way, I know all of you love the enter text. What that is I have a plugin for my editor that allows me to make animated titles like that. And for some reason at times, it just can't find the file or whatever, even though it's the same, it's never moved or anything. Sometimes I'll reload a video file and it's just not there, and it doesn't, the results don't replicate every time I open a file or anything. It's kind of random. So it happens from time to time, but I know y'all love the enter text. Maybe enter text will be a player on my new Super Mega Baseball 3 team. I was thinking about that. But we have some contracts to take care of. Obviously, Kevon DeVoe has been a key player on this team for a really long time. He's been on the team for 10 years, and he has nearly 100 career sacks in that time period. Now, he did not really play up to an $18 million salary last season, and he's regressing. So I think this is the year we're going to move on, and that's where majority of our cap relief is going to be. And now we're left, with some tough decisions. DeJuan Bailey. His play's gotten better. And Jermichael Beekman, wow, the regression, minus 30 points last episode. That is an issue. So now what do we do with Bailey? Do we just give him the 3-year deal? They'll leave us with about 24 in space, but I'd have to raise this to hopefully get him to accept. He has been very good. Replacing him wouldn't be easy. I know I drafted Dotson, but who's to say Dotson's not going to be replacing Beekman instead, maybe in due time? I don't know. But let's go 50.1 over 3. After all this, DeJuan Bailey will sign with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, Marcus Durant has been successful since he moved the tight end as a rookie, but I don't really want to pay him a second contract. I think we had something special with O.J. Howard, but outside of the top tier tight ends, I'm not usually one to re-sign them. Although this is a really bad tight end class we're about to have, so the draft is not going to help us in this situation. But I don't think I'm going to re-sign Durant. And now Tandy's offer is way down because he lost a lot of points. He's down 5 overall. But I still think this might be a little too much given our cap situation. Solomon Metcalf, he's just allowing too many sacks. And I know that's going to happen when I have more average tackles starting. But I think we've had better results with other tackles in the same overall tier. I'd rather sign Cassidy Seymour to a multi-year contract. There we go, 2 years, Cassidy Seymour. I'd rather have him start than Metcalf, but I'll see what free agency and the draft throws our way. Russell Clinton, 2.5 sacks. Have I given him fair playing time? I mean, this is over 700 snaps. I think we might want to move on here. 1-year deal done with Kirby Gilbert as a backup safety. He's only 26 years old. Nate Battle, I think because we have Travion Kendall, he can be our third back there. I think with the rest of our cap space, I'm just going to go into free agency and see what we're able to do. I don't know if we're going to have a chance to really make a big difference, but I mean, signing DeVoe basically takes our cap room down to almost zero. So unless he wants to come back for a lot less, which is not going to happen, he's going to get a lot of offers on the open market. I don't think DeVoe's coming back. Brendan Hall at 25 years old, we will sign him if he accepts the 1-year offer. 71 overall, he does sign. So we got a little bit to play with here in free agency. $18.7 million in cap space is not a lot, but it's enough for 1 or 2 signings. DeVoe, he is definitely gone after getting bids here. 9 bids in the first round. Devontae Winslow, Quincy Crisp, Houston McCullum. All right, what can we make happen here? Jerome Page is available. And he's around the same overall now as his replacement, actually. So looking at the offense, I think that we don't have to change a lot here. Just maybe add a tight end and maybe a tackle. As far as the defense goes, another edge rusher. I mean, you move on from Kevon DeVoe, you got to have a plan in place. We have Burgess, that's great, but that's not going to be enough, especially after last season. But other than that, not a ton of needs on this team. Safety, edge, tight end, tackle. Oh, and by the way, Dotson's development is a star. I was hoping at least superstar, but at least it's something to work with. I think we'll keep all our corners at cornerback, unless something in the draft changes that. Now, I'm not completely against bringing back Marcus Durant, especially because, you know, unused cap space won't win you any awards. So you might as well utilize it. But we'd have to top this offer from Kansas City, and that's the issue. Well, I mean, we do have a need at safety. And we do have some familiarity with Jerome Page, who's been excellent and maybe, you know, would not be a bad 1-year starter at strong safety this season. I'll make an offer, now that safety is a bit weaker on this team. If I have a chance, though, to add a good edge rusher, that's where this cap space should go, but I don't think this edge free agent class is all that great. Houston McCullum, what do you have for ratings here? 76 power rusher, and the pass rush moves are just pretty weak. So we are going to give a 1-year offer to Derek Madden, but our cap space is pretty limited, so I'm not sure I'm going to make a good enough offer for him. We also have a need at kicker, and last season our starter was Lindell McMillan, who had a pretty good year. I just wanted to see, though, if there were better accuracy ratings available in free agency. I think we're going to give an offer here to Patrick Ford, who has 83 kick accuracy, 92 kick power. 1 year. Let's drop the salary a bit here. See if he takes that deal. On to stage 2, everybody. Do we have any new signings here for Tampa? Rejected by Marcus Durant. I didn't make a very big offer there. Page is back, though. Jerome Page has returned. And DeVoe ended up getting a really good deal here. This is about $20 million a season. I just didn't think that would fit with our team anymore. We certainly don't have the cap space. Marcus Durant gets a big deal from Kansas City. And here are the other deals. Garrett Winter, 26 over 3 years, not bad. Caldwell stays with the Chargers. And Antonio Tandy's also gone. He's going to join Kevon DeVoe. And Wade Mann, he's headed to Cleveland. So Atlanta is finally making a move at quarterback after all these years. Alright, way too many offers here for Madden. He's going to get a big deal. That's not going to work. And Patrick Ford is yet to accept this. Alright, we have to look at a tight end now. And Bernard Hookland is available. I know we played against him sometime recent, but I can't remember what team he was on. I'll give him a 1-year offer. Right around, let's go 3 million or so. I also have some interest here in Russ Baldwin, and the run block at 67. I feel like that's a lot better than a lot of tight ends have, plus 80 catching. Let's see if either tight end takes the 1-year, $2.9 million deal. Keyston Mathis is kind of interesting. If we wanted to upgrade at tackle, we certainly could try. Obviously, losing Coakley hurts, but, you know, I'm not against signing tackles that have better ratings. It's just I'm probably not going to give too many big deals to tackles in this game. Do I want to go over 7.8? What would it take here? Because this is all I can do right now. I'd have to make more space. I can't make the most competitive offer, but I'll offer every bit of it guaranteed. All right, 7.5. 106. Okay. That could actually work and leave us with no space. Contract accepted by Ford. We have a new kicker. And Baldwin accepts the deal. Mathis rejects that deal at tackle. That was a good offer. And Hookland accepts. So 2 new tight ends, a new kicker. And I guess we still have a little cap space after being rejected. So tight ends kind of taken care of. I do not think there are any better players in the draft. And we have, of course, Page back on the team. He'll go to strong safety now. Treywick will play free. And no additions yet at edge rusher. So that's going to be probably our top need in the draft. Okay, they did increase their offer at least. 108 points. I think ours was 106. So 7.7 in space now. All right, we're going to offer to one of the best edge rushers available, Grant Marshall, and try to get a smaller 1-year deal done. And I'd love to bring back William Lindsley for another season as QB3. No new deals here, as we will not see any more until the draft. All right. I feel like I'm just going to be targeting edge rusher, and then we'll kind of go from there. I mean, I could address tackle if I want to, but otherwise we can see who falls, the best players available. Might become more of a BPA draft for me. We'll have to see how things fall. Rashawn Knight. Where were you when we had a chance to, trade up for a really good receiver? All right, time for the NFL draft in 2034, everybody. Cleveland is on the clock. We pick at 27. And here is a look at our draft board. There are some really good players here at the top that will likely be long gone by the time we select. So we may have to look at trading up. But obviously my top priority is to add an edge rusher. There is William Howell from Arizona State. Mid-first projected, late-first talent with really good finesse moves. Would be a solid pick for us. Might have to move up, but not as far as some other players. Now we also have Gilbert Macklin here, B-plus finesse moves. Late-first talent, 21 years old. He has a more impressive combine with the 4.640 and the good shuttle time as well. He'd be an option that we could just potentially take at our first round spot. There's also Tyrone Godwin from Nebraska. Late first talent again. B-plus finesse, projected to go late too. With those 3 options alone, I feel really good about not having to necessarily trade at all. And I think there are a couple more options, but I'm not sure they're as highly rated. Let's see, Ronald Hutchins, A- finesse. He's early talent, mid-first projected, so he'll be one of the first rushers off the board. There's also Jacob Diaz, and I don't know his actual pass rush move, but he's mid-1 talent, so it's got to be decent. That's a pretty good spot to be, though. There are just so many first-round talents that don't have that projection for some reason, so could get pretty lucky at 27. We'll see how things fall as Miami goes with the first quarterback. Rashawn Knight to Minnesota. Wow. No quarterback here to Atlanta. They go tackle instead. Already seeing some 60s off the board. Whoa, an 80 overall tackle, Josh Walton. We only see an 80 every handful of drafts, really. There goes Hutchins. Phillip Edwards, Edward Bishop, Dion Richards. Less than 10 picks away from our spot, and so far, everything is falling perfectly for us. John McDonald's off the board. Oh yeah, Sidney Kilgore hasn't been taken. I thought he would definitely go in the first round. I guess he still could. Just taking a look at what else can be done here in the first round, because all those rushers I like are probably going to be around for a little bit longer. So just trying to get all my options out here. And then I have to figure out, who's my favorite pass rusher available. I think it would have to be Gilbert Macklin. He's younger, 21 years old, a little more athletic. Both him and Godwin have the B+ finesse, but I think Macklin would be my pick right now. This is a really solid edge rush class, though. Finally something, is really deep at a position of need. Really intrigued by Jamal Clancy, another first-round talent that will probably not go in the first round. I know receiver isn't like a huge glaring need, but I really like his top 3. First-round talent at safety, Dion Hart. There's also Joe Harris, who had a 7.3 combine. That's really impressive. A lot can be done in this draft for sure. Might have to look at trading up with my second-round pick to make sure I get a player I want. Ronnie Colombo, top 3 are all route running. 4.55 40's all right. Marquis Burks from Minnesota goes to Carolina. And Dion Byers is off the board. All right, we're on the clock now. Round 1, pick 27. Just checking the trade down offers, and they've been weak all year. I say we go Gilbert Macklin right here. Not going to change up any of the draft plans. He is a 71 overall with normal development. So I'm definitely going to make him a focus player, which is kind of like a way to make a player star development, I guess. They get the extra experience. 80 finesse, 83 speed, 81 strength. Some really good day 1 traits, but for sure I'm counting on him likely being a day 1 starter. But now we have to think about when we move up, and the Ravens are the ones to take Sidney Kilgore. All right. Jalen Aiken off the board. Langham at guard. And now we get into the second round. Some really good players out there, and I think I want to look at moving up. I really like Jamal Clancy. He is an early 3rd projected player. We picked late 2, so he could easily go late 2nd round. I think he's a player that we have to move up for if we want him. There is Angel Breckinridge from Kansas. I also have a lot of interest in him. I don't have to look at edge rusher necessarily, but I have to consider the safeties. I think that's all I'm thinking about right now as I go through all of this. Like for offensive linemen, if I want a starter, they got to be a first-round talent. I don't really want to start like a 67 overall tackle and try to develop him because he's probably going to have normal dev. Just doesn't work as well in this game. Whereas a lot of teams will draft, 3rd, 4th round linemen, usually interior players, and they're starting often day 1 or early in their first season. Really, early 2nd round talent is kind of my cutoff for linemen as far as like starting caliber, and I don't think anyone fits that. So certainly Dion Hart and Joe Harris need some attention here. Late first talent for Hart, 23 years old, good in coverage, good hit power, seems solid all around. Joe Harris is 22. Definitely the more exciting player with his athleticism. Don't know his coverage, but with mid-1 talent, it's not going to be in the 50s, I don't think. He's going to have like 73 overall. So what do we value more, I guess? Getting Harris, potentially a starting safety within a year, or another wide receiver in Jamal Clancy? There's no doubt safety would be the greater need, but we'll have to see what I think here. Henderson's is 77, entering the last year of his contract. Does he get paid from us? Probably not. So I think that 3rd receiver spot is likely going to be as much of a need as the 2nd safety. Like we're going to need a new starter next season at both spots, most likely. I'm also trying to think a step ahead for like the long-term sim I do, and it's like, okay, if we downgrade at quarterback and say our starter does become Ronnie Wynn, well, we probably have to put more investment into certain parts of the offense than with Sparks, who has gotten by with lower-rated receivers at times. But for Ronnie Wynn, it might not be so simple. So let's gauge the trade market here and see, to move up here with the Dolphins, it's a lot of spots to jump. So what does it cost? The 3rd round pick gets us about there. I don't know if I want to give up multiple picks. What if I threw in an extra like 7? How much does that move it? A little bit. I kind of think we have to wait a few spots here. And because there are 2 players I really like, that lowers the risk, of simming and missing, because I'm probably not getting both regardless. So we get to Minnesota. Now Atlanta, they go a corner instead of quarterback. Jacob Diaz off the board. I'm curious, is Atlanta at all prepared to move on from Wade Mann, who was honestly not that good? They don't have a quarterback. 0 quarterbacks on the roster. They're going to have to start William Lindsley next year. He's still available. That is unbelievable. I want to see Wade Mann's stats, actually. What are his career stats? I feel like he'd have as many interceptions as touchdowns. Probably not realistically, but I bet it's pretty tight. Wade Mann. 301 to 132. Really? Well, he sure played the worst games possible against us in that case. He actually had some decent years. The games against us must have just been that bad. That's not even a bad career at all. Just wanted to get out of the NFC South, I guess. All right, New York, can we make a deal here? I really don't want to see these players go in the 2nd round. Unless we're taking them. All right, this is not really getting much easier at this point. I don't want to give up both 3s. Unless, I get really desperate, like one of the players goes and I just want to make sure I get the other. So we're going to have to sim a few. There goes Dion Hart. So far, so good. Detroit. Joe Harris, 74 overall safety. So now I think that we'd be willing to give up more in a deal. We could still address the position. I know I've drafted safety a million times in this series, but now we'd be looking at somebody like Philip James, who could be a starter within a year or 2. Lamar Bolton, who's late 2 talent. Obviously, none are as exciting as Harris, but there are some good options. A 3rd round pick won't get it done. I might have to throw in another day 3 selection. All right, I guess it's going to be the 3 and the 5 in that case. I'm okay with that. I think we have a chance. Oh, come on. I have an earlier 3rd round pick, though, so maybe the 6 spots here are enough, please. Yes, okay. We've moved up here in the 2nd round, giving up a 3 and a 5. And we're going to be going with wide receiver Jamal Clancy. Now, if I had the option of both, that would be a tough decision because I think that it's so even. But obviously, I think, if you really hit on receiver, it probably makes more of an impact than really hitting at safety. Position importance, of course, goes to receiver. Let's take him. Jamal Clancy, 75 overall. So he is the higher overall player. A bit surprised by normal dev, though. 92 speed, really good route running skills. Wow, this is one of the best rookie receivers I've drafted in this game, I think. The route runnings are really solid. Great speed. Running back skills. Does this mean that we could look at trading Josh Henderson potentially? Pretty excited about that pick. Philip James now off the board from Illinois State. Same school that Mike Zimmer went to. Fun fact, the Vikings also had a linebacker named Mike Zimmer from Illinois State, while Mike Zimmer from Illinois State was head coach. This was a few off seasons ago. So now we're without a 5th round pick. We pick late 3rd. Anything I want to do with this one? Breckinridge would definitely be somebody I'm very interested in. I think we could look at safety. Perry Byers, Lamar Bolton. They're both going to go a bit later, though. So this is more what I'm thinking about with our 3rd round pick. Breckinridge is projected early 3s, so this would have to be another trade-up scenario. Gonna sim a few picks here. Hopefully he doesn't go late 2nd round. And he certainly did to the Buffalo Bills. So earlier than talent and projection suggest. Very nice. 66 overall. Might not be making any moves then. We are on the clock here in the 3rd round, and we have 11 players on the board. Not very many. Now, this might be one of our better chances to go safety rather than wait until the late 4th round when a player could easily go. So, Byers is the better player at safety. He has the higher overall. Better combine grade, awareness in the top 3. I say here we go with Perry Byers from Clemson. Hybrid safety. He is a 68 overall with normal development. Byers has 87 speed, 71 man coverage, 63 zone, and 74 hit power. So he needs some development, but he could definitely find himself in a starting role. 4th round now, and 6 players are on the board, although I don't think I'm taking a specialist. We've already taken a safety, we've already taken an edge. So what to do now with these last selections? Probably trading out of this pick. But the offers aren't that great. A future 4. I guess I'll make a selection then. We're going to take another safety here. This is Darren Logan, who has catching and zone coverage in his top 3. Logan is a 62 overall. This is a slight reach. 90 speed though, 70 zone coverage. Some decent skills here at free safety, but not a very good run stopper. That's okay. We are going to trade away this 6th round pick though, and it looks like a future 5 is going to be about the best we can do. I want Atlantis. I think it'll be a very high pick. Wow, a decent selection here too. Will Mitchell, 67 overall. Good job. 2 7th round picks to make here, and I don't know if I will take a player on the board. I probably will here. Brendan Wallace, why not? An edge rusher, 62 overall. 148 in true talent, 81 speed, 74 finesse. Needs a lot of development though. Alright, and we will just see what we can do now with this last 7th round pick. Here are players that have fallen. Who do I spend the pick on this year? We are going to select middle linebacker Cam Arnaud from Middle Tennessee State. I never got to address linebacker earlier. We do here. And he has 83 speed, 77 tackle, 68 zone coverage. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with the top of our draft then. Gilbert Macklin, Jamal Clancy, and then we got a safety, Perry Byers, we can work on developing, maybe make him a focus player. Now, I am curious about how good Joe Harris was, because I was considering trading up for him, 74 overall, hidden dev. So Harris might be the better player long term, and would definitely be able to take over that safety role, even as a rookie potentially. But they'll be doing that in Detroit instead. What do the Falcons ever do, by the way, at quarterback? They did select one, so they have one quarterback on the roster. Their starter may be Rayleigh Bennett from Missouri, who's a 63 overall, unless they sign somebody that's a higher rated player, like William Linsley, for instance. He does deserve a starting chance after all these years. I wonder what they do. Now, I want to see that linebacker as well that was projected in the 3rd round, but went late 2 instead. That was Angel Breckinridge, 66 overall, 86 speed, 69 zone coverage. Make him a focus player, maybe he gets there. Alright, Atlanta, what is your new plan? Like, you gotta let me know here. Atlanta has 2 quarterbacks now. They signed Walt Gardner Walt Gardner may be their starter this season. 88 short accuracy, 81 medium accuracy. Not a very strong arm. I think he's going to be their starter now. Does he have any starting experience? 1 season, perhaps. 16 touchdowns, 7 picks. Here are the top quarterbacks, by the way, in our league at this point. And Sparks is now tied for 3rd with Brendan Frey. Cal Cooper, 2nd place at 27 years old. Greg Wilbur, number 1. Let's see. How many quarterbacks are in the 80 overall tier? TJ Schmidt, 16. So a lot of starting quarterbacks are in this high or mid 60s range. Where does Win rank? He could be starting right now. Wow. Looks like Sidney Kilgore is going to start as a rookie. Very cool. And now in Dallas, they have signed Lamar Jackson, who's going to start. Baker Mayfield started for them last season. William Lindsley, come home to Tampa. We are going to sign a veteran tackle here, Peyton Tepper. I like that he has the 81 run block. I know we're losing some run block ability with the retirement of Coakley. So we'll see between him and Seymour, perhaps. How do I see who even plays better in the preseason? That's always tough. Like head coach playing that, you see the success rates on blocks. There are some really cool simulated stats in there, and I don't have access to those in this game. Going to sign a couple undrafted rookies here. Jeffrey Avery from Texas has the best catching available at 68. We're also going to sign safety Chester Taylor from Tennessee State. 87 speed, 68 zone coverage. Got a couple upgrades here. Chuck Roll gets another boost to his strength, and now that makes it a 90, and he is going to start once again at defensive tackle. And we'll upgrade Ellis Norton. And then take a look at our preseason stats. What to even do here? He's just so good. I want to make receiving back a little bit better here. Let's get catching up +2. That makes it a 72. He is running out of weaknesses fast. All right, so preseason. 4 touchdowns for Sparks, 4 touchdowns for Ronnie Wynn with 3 interceptions. I'm not exactly sure yet if Wynn is the quarterback. Like, if Sparks were to retire this year, is Wynn really going to be the next quarterback of this team? I don't know yet. For rushing, Ellis Norton, big preseason. 265 yards. Galloway went for $175. We only have 3 running backs on the team, so Kendall got the rest of the carries. And receiving, Ventura, not bad. Hookland, 3 touchdowns. 12 catches for Mills, 12 catches for Jamal Clancy. Hadley had a touchdown, not much for Henderson. And Galloway had a 1. Baldwin scored twice. I think he's going to be the starting tight end because his catching is just better. And then sacks allowed, not many. I think Peyton Tepper is actually going to start at tackle. I think he'll just help out the running game more so than Cassidy Seymour. And here are his ratings. I just gave him an upgrade, by the way. Ricky Livingston, 26 tackles, a pick. Not bad. 3 tackles for loss for Seymour, 2 sacks for Chuck Roll. Not a ton of splash plays. Patrick Ford, 4 of 5 on field goals, 12 for 13. The extra point was blocked. And the field goal he missed was from deep. Oh, we have some injuries as well going into this season. I saw 2 of them that are going to be significant. And there they are. 10 weeks, we're not going to have Damian Burgess. 8 weeks, we're not going to have Harmon Mays. So we've got to have some solutions ready, and perhaps we have to look at making a trade now with Josh Henderson. I think we could obviously play Cassidy Seymour at one of the tackle spots. I think it's more so the edge rush we'd have to address in a trade. We have a rookie starting. We could always start Larimore and play McLaughlin here at linebacker instead. But maybe we'll start next episode with a trade. What do you think, everybody? I think that we could definitely look at trading Henderson somewhere and developing Clancy as our new 3rd wide receiver and go from there. But we'll have to see if You know, it'd probably take more to make really a good difference at edge rusher. Maybe Henderson plus a pick. But at the same time, we don't want to sacrifice too much in a trade. But what do you think, everybody? Here's a look at our transactions going into the new season. Not too many surprises here. Just sign some players to the practice squad. We'll see how tough this season proves to be, and if it is the last season for Tyrus Sparks. I still don't think that it's going to be. I think he'll probably play until the ratings are in the high 80s. I think once he's like an 86, 87, I would start to be worried about him retiring. But we'll just have to see. Hopefully he sticks around for a while and we can do more of these seasons and get another ring or two. But hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Let me know what you thought of the offseason and what we should do about these injuries. I think these are ones you actually have to address in a trade, perhaps, instead of just looking for replacements on the roster. Let me know what you think, and I will see you all in the next episode. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all then. Have a great day.